Hopper. Welcome to our latest live stream. I'm trying to pull up the chat on another phone right now so I can see it. Moonshine Wilson. So we're in the Florida Keys and Carrie's driving. So
hi.
Illegal U-turn. No, that guy wasn't turning a U-turn. He was just turning left. And he did it right in front of a bunch of traffic. So yeah, we're in the Keys. And we've just left
Bahia
Honda Key.
Thank you.
And if you saw the thumbnail, that was the old Bahia Honda bridge that is no longer in use, obviously. Duende Verde from Argentina, hello again. So I think we're on the 7 Mile Bridge, which is 7 miles long. I believe that's like 11 kilometers. Mason Wright's with us again. Okay,
Hey,
well, I gotta turn the air on this side now that I'm not driving. Shout out from Harrisburg. Oh, it's Mark from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Mark.
And Papa Rewards. Oh, that's not chat. That's just a stupid thing that's coming up on my phone telling me to order from Papa John's.
No, they're not going to deliver to us on the 7 Mile Bridge.
Yeah. Got some little islands out there that are not entirely uninhabited. There's boats docked out there. I don't know if y'all can see that.
It's really interesting to see these islands kind of just out in the ocean, and there are actually houses on some of them, and you wonder how they get there.
Yeah, you gotta have a boat.
You gotta have a boat.
But this bridge on the left is another former alignment of US 1, and this one isn't connected. This part of it isn't connected. When you get to the other end, there's actually like a fishing pier that goes out a couple of miles, but the bulk of the old 7 Mile Bridge is not accessible anymore, but for whatever reason, they've left it there. I guess it's more difficult to remove it than it is to, than it is to just leave it there. So Mark says FDOT is currently talking about replacing the current 7 Mile Bridge. Why? It's like a brand new bridge. I could see them building another span next to it, though. That would make a lot of sense if they put another span next to it and had 2 lanes running in each direction, because this is a long bridge.
If something happens to you and you're like in the middle of it, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. You know,
you're gonna block a lane.
They could have 2. I mean, the Bahia Honda bridge is 2 lanes in each direction.
Sure.
And that's only about half a mile long. Yeah, Florida loves their old bridge fishing piers and trails, and it's too bad this one isn't continuous, because that would be cool to like ride a bike across or something like that. Go GSU Eagles. Oh wow, hope y'all stay safe everywhere y'all go. Very appreciative of y'all's videos over the years. Thank you.
No, thank you.
See Aiden again. Is that
Aiden?
I guess it's the same Aiden we were talking to yesterday.
Yep.
Or maybe not. It's a different name. Alexi Fayuk, welcome to our live stream. Got 9 people watching right now. That's pretty good. Here we pretty much open water, and this open water pretty much goes all the way out into the Atlantic Ocean. And to our left, it's the Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of America.
And straight ahead, off of that old bridge, I'm not sure how much you can see, and I don't think I can zoom in here.
I haven't been able to zoom in on
there's an island right under the bridge, and this is where you can come out from the south side on the old bridge to this island. There's a ramp down onto that island. Happy birthday, Ivan Hopper, by the way. Yeah, the only way to access that island is on foot or by bicycle, because you can't drive onto that bridge, but that is a fishing pier all the way to that island. And then there's a break in the bridge that keeps you from going any further than that.
There's a couple houses on that island.
Oh, it's not really houses. Well, I think somebody might live there, but there's actually like some sort of an exhibit you can go to there. It shows up on Google Maps. We're nearing the south end of the bridge now. Oh, we probably still got a mile to go. And then we'll be in Marathon. So it's Ivan Hopper's birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, Ivan. See if I missed any chats. Mark did this drive in the early morning on a Monday for a reason. Well, we didn't get out of here as early as I expected, but the traffic's not too bad. What are you doing? What happened?
So it doesn't keep. Okay.
It doesn't keep what?
It doesn't keep closing. There you go.
It doesn't
it's
close.
Fixed.
No.
I thought it had
No.
Okay.
No, when you're watching a video, it won't close. Anyway, so
it was still on sleep, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, it's fine. Anyway, I have technical difficulties here. But yeah, so we're approaching Marathon, which is the next pretty long chain of islands. I believe Marathon is an incorporated city. So Mark says he did it super early so he didn't have to pay $5 for his US1 N selfie. Why would you have to pay $5? Is that because he would have had to park? We didn't even try to park down there, but we didn't get a selfie, but we got a good shot of the US1 Begin sign this time. And the last time we were down here, which was last July, we got a good shot of the US1 N sign. So,
whenever we get there, you know.
Well, I'm talking about on the south end. We haven't been near the north end of US1. That'll be a while. Yeah, pay to park. I would imagine. I guess they got meters or whatever to park on the street.
Given how many people there were today, it was really crowded.
Yeah, we were out there. It was what it's noon now. It was about 11:15. That had to have been 11:45, huh? No, I guess it was 11:45.
Yeah.
So now we're in the slow 35-mile-an-hour zone here.
I think that's what it is all the way through Marathon.
Yeah. And the guy in front of us is being overly cautious. But we are pretty close to the speed limit. So, today we're thinking we'll probably get to Fort Lauderdale. It took us a little while to get out this morning, and we didn't have the greatest hotel experience last night.
No.
I didn't do a room tour. I was going to, but I was just like, no, I'm not doing anything to promote this place. We stayed at the Doubletree Resort in Key West, and had it not been a free room, I would have been demanding a refund, because this place was everybody we dealt with there was nice enough, but
the facility itself.
When we arrived, there was sirens in the distance, like fire engine sirens, and I was kind of wondering if the hotel was on fire, because there was about 25 people standing around outside the lobby, and there was smoke. Well, it was just a bunch of drunks out there on the steps and on the wheelchair ramp smoking. And, you know, I don't really have a problem with that, but get away from the door and leave room for people to get in and out. We had 2 heavy suitcases, so I rolled them up the ramp and had to kind of fight my way through all the smokers on the ramp.
They didn't bother to even, like...
No, they just didn't seem to even want to get out of our way, and they all were drunk. They were smoking various substances as well.
Yeah, it's not all tobacco.
Yeah. So that was our initial impression of the place, and you know, the lady at the front desk was very nice, and she, you know, we checked in and everything, and late last night I went to wash my hands, and there was no hot water, and I let the water run for like 10 minutes. I don't know what the deal was with that, but when I got up this morning, there was hot water in the shower. The place is kind of, you know, and there's some maintenance issues because it's an older hotel, but I guess it wasn't really as bad as I'm thinking it was. But we really had planned to use our free room on one of the nicer resorts all the way at the southern end of the island, and they wouldn't let us do that for whatever reason. So let's see, might be out of the loop. Is this basically the beginning of US 1 series that will come after I-95 South? Yes, this is. We are filming the US 1 series. We're trying to get to Jacksonville at least.
Wednesday, or before, well, we got to be home Wednesday.
Yeah, we have to be home. We have to be home by Wednesday evening. So we're going to try to get to Jacksonville, because that way when we do the second phase of filming, it's just a straight shot to Jacksonville, and then we'll be able to continue north. Yeah, this is kind of a touristy area.
Lots of sandal depots with $4 t-shirts for $10 everywhere.
Yeah, sandal factory. They this seems actually more touristy than Key West.
I was surprised that there was a pretty big residential area in Key West.
People don't know how to drive down here.
No, you don't need to stop to turn.
You see lots of convertibles down here.
Yeah, but I would probably have one too if I lived here.
Another sandal factory.
Yeah, we passed 3 of them in the city.
We see a lot of sandal factories, which is expected. A lot of Publix supermarkets,
which we like. We really would love to have them in our area, but
Tom Thumb is a very common gas station.
We've passed 2 in Marathon.
And convenience store.
Uh-oh, there's the city bus.
There's lots of railway stuff, because it traditionally has been a railway all the way down to Key West, which doesn't exist anymore, but you see a lot of old train cars. You see a lot of circular Ks, which, you know, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, Miami.
I hope the video's clear. For some reason it does look blurry on this screen. I don't know why that is. Because when I film regular video with this camera, it's not that bad. The thought of me clinching US 1 between Miami and Jacksonville and New York to Boston seems impossible for me. We expect to take 2 years to clinch US 1. I mean, it's not going to be anything that's going to happen in 2 trips like we did with, well, even US 11 took us 3 trips.
Because we have to get so far to get to where we left off.
Right. And there's a plane landing over there. I don't know if y'all can see that. So yeah, that bus that we passed.
It's a Miami-Dade transit bus.
Miami-Dade?
Yep.
So that connects with the route down here, or that's separate, or?
I didn't see if the I assume that goes to Miami-Dade and maybe connects with the buses up there.
Right.
There's probably a transit hub or something, like right at the southern end of Miami.
Yeah, that could be.
And then it turns around and comes back.
There's a transit bus which is really a motor coach that runs the length of the Keys,
yeah,
the whole 120 miles, and I'm gonna have to look into what that actually costs. I'm just curious. Moonshine, yes, we are currently filming the US 1 series. That's what we're doing right now. So this will actually appear in like video 3 or 4 in the US 1 series, what you're seeing right now. But that won't go live until probably late summer, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because we're still like pretty far north.
Yeah, we still have more than half
US
of I-95
of
to go.
I-95, yeah.
So
I wonder if we're gonna, well, it's not gonna be today, obviously. I wonder, like, I guess there are wildfires in
Myrtle Beach,
Myrtle
yeah,
Beach.
they were.
Does
There
US
was
1 go through there? Or is that where US
no,
1 is
US
more
1
inland?
is way inland.
Okay.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach. I saw something on Facebook this morning. Apparently, wildfires have Myrtle Beach burning. I don't know. I wasn't aware that wildfires were a big problem out there, but I guess they are.
Me neither.
So let's see, Mason Wright. There's an old Amtrak lounge car at Rosenberg Railroad Museum in Rosenberg, Texas. They have, I noticed when we were driving down yesterday, there's a bunch of railroad cars that are being used either just for display or possibly as, you know, restaurants or whatever along the road here. Oh, we got a red light. I think that's the first red light we've hit since Key West.
Did this guy seriously honk at me?
Yeah, he did.
Are
Y'all
you-
know when you clinch US 1 north of Jacksonville, want to wave when
Dick.
you'll pass through North Carolina. Also, video was blurry at first for me, but cleared up now. It's probably got to do more with the signal that we have out here. So, is that the guy that was blowing the horn?
Yes, it was.
You probably thought you brake checked him.
Well, maybe I did if he wasn't paying attention to the
Well, he was probably
color of
riding
the
your
light.
back bumper.
No, he was a safe, somewhat following distance from my bumper. I can't believe the nerve of some people, and he doesn't appear to have turn signals either.
Nope.
Must be an expensive option in newer cars.
Yeah. So y'all know when you clinch US 1 north of Jacksonville, one wave when you pass through North Carolina. Also, video was blurry. Okay, so yeah.
We only have 2 bars of 5G right now. That might be a little bit of it.
Well, no, I mean I'm watching the stream on. You know what? This thing is focusing on the windshield. It looks like.
Oh,
Well, now it's not.
I wonder what this person.
No, okay, that's working now. Don't stay right on him. He's obviously completely lost. He's gonna make an illegal left turn here. So, I lost the chat. What happened? When will Roadway Wiz get new playlists? How the hell am I supposed to know? I'm not Roadway Wiz. Why are you asking me that?
Roadway Wiz has thousands of playlists.
Ask Roadway Wiz.
Yeah, we aren't gonna see him until either the next road meetup or when we get on US 1 in, you know, where he lives.
So Moonshine is asking, when will you get to my city of Augusta, Georgia? Well, actually, we have the trip for this week mapped out all the way to Augusta, Georgia, but because we're not going to cover very much distance today, I don't think we're going to get past Jacksonville. So Augusta might be in the next.
That'll be in the summertime.
In the next,
trip.
This summer we're going to probably take 10 days. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. We're probably going to take 10 days this summer, either in July or August, maybe around July 4th. And so if we don't make Augusta on this trip, then we'll be doing Augusta on the second trip. It'll be pretty close to the beginning of that. Because Augusta's not that far from Jacksonville.
No, it doesn't. It's US 1 goes in just a little bit of Georgia, right? Like that little tiny corner.
Wait, what?
US 1 is just, it goes through a very small part of Georgia, because it's just that
Well,
part.
it goes through all of Georgia.
Isn't it like right on the coast though?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I know it goes through Augusta. I don't know what other towns it goes
I thought
through
Savannah.
does it go
It
through
doesn't go
Savannah?
through
I've never
Savannah.
been to Savannah. But it is inland. Yeah, Mark is saying that. It's I knew it was inland. It stays inland for a good ways. I don't think it gets back out towards the coast until you're
Pretty far north.
Yeah, like is it Virginia? Somebody with a map can tell me that. You know, we considered taking US 192 across Florida yesterday, but we wanted to get the whole turnpike, so we didn't, because I'm kind of intrigued by all the abandoned resorts and stuff along US 192
cool.
East of Orlando. Yeah, we stayed in Key West last night. Yeah, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, that area, they have a whole bunch of abandoned resorts. US 1 actually we had a couple of one of the things that we're going to be doing with the US 1 series is we're going to try and hit all the business and alternate routes as well. So we've got alternate routes mapped out in St. Augustine, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. There was a small town in Georgia, and I believe Augusta has either a business route or an alternate route. They're pretty good at signing the older alignments of US 1 as US 1 alt. Yeah, Augusta is in Georgia, not Florida. St. Augustine is in Florida. St. Augustine's about an hour south of Jacksonville.
It's the oldest town in the United States.
Yeah, St. Augustine, and that's another reason why I wanted to do the business route or alternate route through St. Augustine is because we'll be able to see a little more of the city. I believe Augusta was a couple of hours into Georgia.
Okay.
But there's another town between the Florida state line and Augusta that has, it's a big enough town that it had a business route, so, and it kind of goes through the heart of town, whereas the main line goes around the town, so we wanted to backtrack and do the business route there. So we'll just have to see how far we get once we're...
Today is going to be how far we get today is going to be a big factor determining
right.
that.
And I'm really not expecting to get much past Fort Lauderdale today. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get through Miami.
And there was a lot of traffic on US 1. We could see that it was stopped for quite a while northbound yesterday as well. So.
Well, yeah, we got to get out of the Keys because they're doing construction on the little narrow, one lane in each direction road coming in to the Keys, and we don't want to take Card Sound Road this time because the whole point of this trip is to drive US 1. So, Vitas Prospector, I need a translation of that. My Spanish is not good enough to really figure out what you're saying there. I'm sorry.
Lo siento.
The Franklin to North Carolina US 1A was eliminated by NCDOT in 2023. I'm unsure if it's signed. Well, even if it's not signed, I'll probably be able to map it out because I'm going to be looking for that kind of thing as I map out the trip. I've made a triptych for just this drive, and it's
a book.
Almost 120 pages. But I just did detailed maps of every step of the way just so that we don't lose the route and waste a bunch of time backtracking. So, but I'll definitely keep that in mind.
So thanks for the warning.
So Augusta has a business route as US 25, but is it signed US 1 business? That's what, or US 1 alternate or anything like that. That's what we're really looking for. In Raleigh, North Carolina area, US 1 is definitely not a coastal route here. It's at least 2 hours to the coast. US 17 is a coastal route in the Carolinas. Right, yeah, we know it goes way inland, which kind of sucks because we would have liked to have done the coastal route the whole way.
Because it's interesting.
Still in travel mapping for now. Now, Mark, is travel mapping, I remember seeing that somewhere before, and I need to, why don't you give me a better explanation of what travel mapping is. I believe it's a website, but I've never gotten into that.
Yeah, that sounds like something that could be helpful, actually.
Okay, Quebec has different road designations, road, rue, street. Okay, that sounds kind of like what we have here, and well, throughout the United States.
Doesn't US 1 end at the border with Quebec? Or is it New Brunswick?
New Brunswick?
I know 95
Okay, somebody tell me what's on the Canadian side of the border at Fort, what is it, Fort?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Where US 1 has its northern terminus, it's Fort something. I'm drawing a blank right now. What is on the other side of the Canadian border there? Is that Quebec?
Or New Brunswick.
Or New Brunswick or what? Oh, a way to track your travels or clinched routes. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, I remember looking at that at one time and then I completely forgot about it. Fort Kent, thank you. Hello, Oakmere. There's people fishing off of that bridge. This is another one of those old bridges, but this bridge has been modernized. You can see it has like cast concrete railings, and it's not really even wide enough for a car. But that, I guess, is built on the foundation of an old alignment of US 1. Okay, Quebec is across the border from US 1. Okay, so our plan when we clinch US 1 and we hit that northern terminus, we have to go get passports. We have to go get real ID because it's required as of like April. So we've got to go. Louisiana, I think, is the last state that implemented real ID as a requirement. So we need to go get our real IDs and we need to get passports. Because when we clinch US 1, our intent is to go into Canada and drive over to Niagara Falls. I have some people over there I'd like to stop in and visit. And Carrie's never seen the falls from the Canadian side. So, and the last time I went there, you didn't need a passport to go to Canada. So,
apparently the U.S. side of the Niagara Falls is not as good as the Canadian side.
You don't get as good of a view of the falls from the American side as you do from the Canadian side. So let's see. Don't know of a business US 1 anywhere near Augusta. I didn't think so. There's a town before, I think it might be Waycross, that has a US 1 business.
Kind of familiar.
Yeah. New Brunswick is a bilingual province where English and French are both the official languages. Isn't that also the case with Quebec?
Quebec is just French. That's
okay. Be aware of the road designations in Quebec. If you read my previous comment, yeah, that was what I was trying to figure out. So let's see. Oh, the reason why I can't see why the camera looks blurry because I'm looking through the wrong part of my glasses. Y'all need passports to go to Canada since 9/11, correct? And I haven't been to Canada since 9/11. The last time I went to Canada was no, that's not true. I went to Canada in 2003 and did not need a passport. It was at some point after that.
Between 9/11 and I mean, I went there in 2005, and I wouldn't have needed a passport to go, but the person I was with didn't have a visa to go
He
to
wasn't
Canada.
American.
Yeah, he was wasn't an American.
But yeah, it was some point after that they started requiring the passports. And had some people in Maine that said that they had gone across the Canadian border
with their birth certificate.
Well, it was with their birth certificate and real ID, which we don't have real ID either. So the problem isn't so much getting into Canada. The problem is getting back into the United States. So let's see. The American side of Niagara Falls was a good visit in and of itself, as I only had to pay $15 for parking. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to go to the American side because everything costs a lot more in Canada, especially,
Yes.
you know, if you're going to stay there. So let's see. Say a second time road is Rue Street. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce that. You got to realize that in New Orleans, those French names are used a lot, and we have all of those designations in New Orleans as well. So we're kind of familiar with that. Canadian side of Niagara Falls is closer to the actual falls. Well, yeah, you can walk, and
Yeah,
I've walked right up to the edge of Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. But if you get on the Falls View area and you get a hotel room in one of those tall hotels, you get a beautiful view of the falls, especially at night when they light it up. And,
Hilton.
you know, there's a Marriott. It's an Embassy, I believe, an Embassy Suites.
Oh.
Is where we had looked at to stay.
I was thinking of the one that a travel YouTuber that we watch all the time, Jake Williams, I think.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. He stayed in one of those presidential suites or something like that. So Johnny V is with us. So wish someone would have videoed it for this 40 years ago. You talking about the Keys? Yeah, it would have been definitely different because I don't think any of these bridges would have been here yet. It would have been all the old bridges. There just wasn't any easy way to film this kind of thing 40 years ago unless you had a Super 8 camera, and those weren't all that great. Johnny, it looks like we're going to probably be stopping in Fort Lauderdale for the night. I will get a hold of you later on this afternoon.
Because we're not optimistic about the traffic coming into Miami and going through Miami.
Okay, now we've got French, and once again, the chat does not offer a translate button. And
I'm really sorry. We don't know French.
My French is even more limited than my Spanish. I'm sorry. I actually have a Super 8 camera. I don't know where you can get the film for it though. I've got a couple of Super 8 cameras. I've even got a wind-up Brownie 8mm camera that should probably be in an antique, in a museum or something. Not have an issue driving US 1 southbound on Sunday south of Miami. It was just way slower than the freeways. Well, yeah, and you know, yesterday it took us like
4 hours.
4 hours to get from Miami to Key West. There was like a parade, and not a real parade, but there was just something going very slowly, and we couldn't get around it, and it just took forever to get beyond, you know, to get down the Keys. We're making a lot better time today. He said he heard the locals in Quebec can be rude. If that's the case, he doesn't want to visit. I understand that
They're not
you really should
friendly.
know some French if you're going to go to
Yeah.
Quebec. And I wouldn't, I really, it's kind of like going to a foreign country and not knowing the language. I
It's
wouldn't
kind
do
of
that.
disrespectful.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to Paris not
Knowing
at least being able to,
a little
you
bit
know,
French.
get through something in French. And I would do that. I wouldn't go to Quebec for that either. Now, the parts of Canada that I've been to was all Ontario, and everybody in Ontario spoke English. I mean, there were some bilingual people, but I don't recall ever hearing French being spoken except maybe by tourists. So, yeah, I don't really plan to, you know, like get into an urban setting in Quebec. I'll drive through it, but I'm not going to go into an urban setting in Quebec unless I know how to speak some French.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like want to stay in a hotel there because I would feel really bad.
Yeah,
Just
because all the staff, I'm sure would be, you know, I'm sure they would all speak English, but
yeah, but they'd be annoyed.
yeah. So, look, the quick stop. Wonder if Jay and Silent Bob are there. So they have all these. I don't know whether I'd want to live down here or not. It's just too hard to get in and out. We were talking about that earlier. You know, if I lived in Key West, at least there's an airport, so that when you have to go somewhere, you could at least hop on a plane and go to Miami, and then drive from there. The first time we came down here, and I know most of you have probably never been to Grand Isle, Louisiana. But Grand Isle is a barrier island in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's about a 100-mile drive from the nearest big city, which I guess is New Orleans, down to Grand Isle. And when we came down here, I really expected it to be very much like that. When you go onto Grand Isle, once you get on the road down the bayou, there's no, you know, supermarkets or you know, big name gas stations or hotels or fast food or anything. I wasn't really expecting Key West to be a city. And all the way down here, there's Publix and there's gas stations with name
Home
brands
Depot.
like Circle K and Tom Thumb, and there's a Home Depot and everything you would expect. It's not like being out in the middle of the water like it is. It's not what I expected at all. And then when you get to Key West, it's a city. It's an actual city. So it's not a huge city, but they have every kind of service and brand name store, fast food, that kind of thing that you could possibly need.
Yeah, I was really surprised. And even like when we went downtown today, we saw a little bit more of downtown today than we did last time we were here.
Right.
And yeah, I couldn't believe like what they all have here. They have two Publix like within less than a mile of each other, which was kind of surprising.
Did we catch the sunset at Mallory Square? No, we were driving through the Keys as the sun went down.
Still.
We did see the sunset there. It was really annoying because we were on the part of Highway 1 that goes almost due southwest, which is directly into the sun. So for the last 15 minutes before the sun went down, we were blind. After that, you know, it was actually not a bad drive because it wasn't completely dark yet. I'm out of coffee. So it's another one of these bridges, and this one must allow ships to go under it. It's a tall bridge. Another comment in French, if somebody could please translate that.
If there's anybody that knows French in the chat. I think I see a Norfolk Island pine down there.
Yep.
Or a cell tower.
And then yeah, so even though I am from Louisiana, the most French they taught us in school was how to count to 10. And that was 45 years ago, so I don't really remember much of it. I had a half French, half Italian grandmother, and by the time I was 5, I could, and my aunt had people in Mexico, so by the time I was 5, I could count to 10 in 4 languages. But now, all I can handle is English.
And probably Spanish.
Are y'all planning to do all old alignments US 1 or just those? Well, ones that are signed 1 in business are the obvious ones, but if I come across other ones that don't involve hundreds of miles of backtracking, yeah, we probably will cover. And it's got to be a paved road too. But in the interest of time, we're going to have to keep that to the shorter ones. But the ones that I've seen, none of them are really more than 30 or 40 miles, so it's not like it's going to take us more than an hour or 2 to cover them. I just have to research that more. I mean, there's a whole nother alignment of US 1 as you see here, but you can't really drive on it.
A lot of people on it, though.
I'd really like to catch all of A1A up the Florida coast, but that's a pretty good distance that we would have to cover. So let's see.
Yeah,
Current 1982 7-mile bridge you were on earlier was engineered by Flagg and Muller Engineers, the same engineering firm that engineered the 1987 Sunshine Skyway in St. Petersburg.
That's interesting.
So that bridge is from 1982. I didn't think it was that
very
old. I
new,
thought it
yeah.
was much newer than that.
Well, they know how to build
I mean,
bridges that last, I guess.
I guess I would consider that a modern bridge, but I just thought it was much newer than that. The only easy section of A1A to clinch is in Key West itself, and we actually did clinch that today. I didn't have the camera running for most of it, but
we did it, yeah.
when we left our hotel, we made the right turn and drove up past the airport and all that. It was kind of interesting that the water comes right up to almost to the edge of the road, and there were these giant trees in the water. I don't know what kind of trees they were. I've never seen anything like that before. He says to consider visiting Ottawa and then drive a sliver into Gatineau, Quebec. What is a sliver?
It's like right there, pretty much. Ottawa's very close.
I think if we did much in Canada, I think that would be like a whole separate trip that we would take. You know, we were going to use Canada to connect back to Buffalo, I guess. But I would probably, you know, we could fly into YYZ and rent a car, you know, and I think that's how we would want to tour Canada if we were going to do any kind of major touring up there. A ship hit the Skyway Bridge. Yeah, I remember when that ship hit the Skyway Bridge. We've been over that bridge. We went to Tampa, and we bought our 2001 Saab, and we drove over that bridge. I think we bought the car. I think the car was actually in St. Petersburg.
Yep.
We flew into St. Petersburg. No, the car was in, I don't remember now, but I know we drove over that bridge. But I do remember that accident. It was not unlike the Key Bridge disaster. Said engineering firm I mentioned also engineered the I-35 Sandy Falls bridge to replace a former bridge that collapsed. And I remember when
yeah.
that one collapsed, and that's a
like
bridge
August.
that Carrie used to drive over every day.
Several times every day sometimes.
And we've driven over that bridge as well when we were up that way. We kind of zigzagged back and forth across the river, and that was one of the bridges we took.
Yeah, I used to be a city bus driver in Minneapolis for almost 11 years.
There's some Norfolk Island pines up
see.
there. How long does your memory card last? We can get about 8 hours of 4K 60 frames per second video on our memory card on the GoPro. It's a 512 gigabyte card. My bigger concern is dumping the card onto. I've got an external drive, and I've got about 1.5 terabytes free on the computer, so I can store about, I guess, 5 days worth of. No, I got like four terabytes free on the external drive, so I can store about 10 worth of video. Because we typically don't drive more than 8 hours in time and get
it's
so
hard
early.
to drive even 8 hours in good light in the winter time.
But we've driven about 8 hours. The last 2 days we drove 8 hours. So by the time we're done today, we'll have driven 24 hours on this trip. Let's see. Looking to see if I missed any comments.
I feel bad. I wish that YouTube would enable translation in the live chat.
Yeah, they've enabled translation in the comments section
on the the videos once they've been.
Yeah, because I do get comments in Spanish occasionally. I've gotten comments in Arabic. And it translates those. How long does it take to transfer 400 or 500 gigabyte card to an external drive? Well, a long time.
Hours.
Like yesterday's video